Always trying to see through your flaws, 'cause I know that you got so much more to give. You made a real mess, but I miss you though, 'cause I can go to sleep when I'm alone again. Say you wanna fix our problems. How long should I be waiting? Feels like I've had too much of drama.
Today's Sunday, my presentation day, and I'm a little nervous just because these are things that I haven't had to think about in a while. So like what pediatric EV is, what the angiogenin is, like why does it all matter? Like I haven't had to think about this in a while, so I'm just like I don't want to like disseminate like mistruth or like wrong information. And I'm just waiting for my Uber right now to go to the convention center and like meet up with my ex-boss for lunch or my PI for lunch. If you're watching, shout out to you, Rena, for letting me stay here. This is her room, my friend's room. I'm staying with my friend San Diego.
Baby, all I really want is only on from now. Every time I see a glimpse of your good side, I start wondering how I could make it last a little longer.
Hi guys! Welcome back to another like more informational kind of video. I want to make this video about conferences, like scientific conferences, just because like I didn't know what to expect going into my first like real conference that's not like school affiliated or like university affiliated, because I did do a couple of like university like Hopkins affiliated or Hopkins put on conferences for students specifically, but it's my first time going to like a real one where like actual researchers and like experts in the field come from like all over the world, not even the country, which I didn't know, and that was pretty cool. And for some background, in October I went to ASBMR, which is basically a bone research conference for the research that I did last year during my gap year. And just for like a timeline of these things, I submitted my abstract maybe sometime during May, I want to say like end of May, and then acceptances came out after I started med school, so like maybe in August, and then this conference was in October. I think usually you have like, it's an earlier submission deadline and then it's an earlier like notification, but just because of COVID, they didn't know if you could be in person, virtual, etc. And so what ended up happening was people who wanted to be in person could be in person, but you also had the chance to be virtual if you didn't want to go in person. So one thing that I didn't know about the conferences was the cost to attend all of these. Like, it's all like out-of-pocket costs, which is kind of weird because you're basically paying to show off your research and to get connections. And I don't think it was cheap because obviously you have to pay for your flight, your hotel, and those are not covered. I had to pay for a junior membership, which is cheaper than an actual membership, to I think ASBMR or to something, and that was around $90. And then I had to pay for my registration fee, and I honestly forgot how much it was. I want to say like around $100 to $200, but those numbers could be completely wrong, and I couldn't find anywhere on the website where it said like how much it actually was. And so it's actually quite pricey. Thankfully I was able to receive a Young Investigators Award, which just didn't require like a heavy application. It was just like me showing like why I need this, which is I think a short paragraph or something, and I saw they had a couple different investigator awards for like mid-career researchers, young careers. I think there was one for like diversity, but yeah, there's a couple different options, which is always good to know. And it was $500, and I was lucky enough where my registration stuff was reimbursed by my old department at Hopkins, so very thankful for that, because after I came to UM, I realized it's not a set in stone thing that a department will cover conference fees and expenses. It's really dependent on like your department and your school and basically how much money they have allocated in the department for such events. And going along with how much of it was going to be out of pocket, something I didn't expect was that there wasn't like really any food. Only 2 sponsors, I think there were literally like sponsors like selling something, were providing lunches, but otherwise it's not really food around. And so I went on my PI to eat both days. And so that's also something to budget for, because I really thought the conference would have more free stuff. Like, I couldn't find water at it. The only place where there was water was a vending machine where it was like $2 per bottle of water, and I was like, I don't want to pay $2 for a bottle of water. And so it does take me back a little by surprise at how little things were offered, but I also heard it's because it's a COVID year. Usually there's like ice cream because high calcium and stuff like that. So here are usually more vendors, but because this year, because of COVID, they limited the amount of like snacks and stuff like that. Actual conference is actually like a free-for-all kind of event. They give you like a schedule. Things started on Friday morning, I believe, or Thursday afternoon. But because I have class and stuff, I flew in Friday night, so I didn't go on Friday. And then there's basically just speeches and talks given by people on panels, and then on Saturday and Sunday, it was just like the typical what you expect from a poster presentation session. So I think there was like 500 or some like absurd number of like posters being put up, and you get a booklet of all the abstracts there are in advance, so you can plan your day to see which ones that you're more interested in. Just because like I delved into this field like recently, like I didn't know much of the research, so there wasn't that many that I was like, oh, I need to go to this one and this one and this one. I just kind of like wandered around. And then there were other talks and stuff you go to. I asked my PI, and then she said it's typical for people to go to maybe like 60 to 80% of what's happening. Obviously, you pay for the whole weekend's events. But I was actually staying with a friend, and and it was one of my friend's birthdays, and she came down to San Diego to come see me. And so I spent more of my time with my friends, I guess, than at the actual conference. I spent maybe 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day, and I only stayed for the poster presentations and not for the actual lectures and stuff. But that was. And as for like the time of the conference, I think every morning it started around 8 a.m. There were some like virtual presentations given by people from all over the world. I don't know if this is normal when it's not COVID, just because like I think more people will come in person, but in the future I feel like a lot more things will be more accommodating to people who can't actually travel. Like 6 a.m. there was a presentation or something on, so I didn't wake up for it. But I think in person things all started at 8, and the day ended at 4 for Friday through Sunday, and on Monday was like a half day, a wrap up, and then there was also some awards given to people. I had to come back to Miami to go to class, so I didn't stay for the award ceremony on Monday. And as for like the population of people who go, like I was surprised. I was honestly more like mid-career level people. Like it was mostly like regular working adults were going, and not like younger students and stuff. Like I was definitely like one of the few students there. Like most people like had their careers like going and everything, were experts already, or at least from my point of view. Definitely like barely any like questions. I don't know if I was the only one. I'm sure she wasn't, but like I don't know. It's just like the people who showed up to the conference in person, who could make it. But yeah, I was pretty surprised at like the age distribution of the population of attendees. As for dress code, because I feel like this isn't like mentioned anywhere, like I would definitely say like business casual, but like business casual depending on the city you're going to. So like this was San Diego. San Diego's a pretty lax place, so I feel like you could get away with more of like a lax business casual. I saw people in sneakers, heels, full on suits and everything, just t-shirts and jeans. Like I saw a whole spectrum. The day that I was presenting, I chose to be a little more dressed up, but like a more casual blazer, nice pants, heels. But the day I wasn't presenting, I went more casual, without the blazer, just jeans and like heels, just because heels makes everything more professional. So that's kind of the dress code for it. I mean, no one's ever pointed out to you, but you don't want to stand out too much, you know. And at these conferences, there's also going to be like vendors for like cutting edge research technologies and like pharmaceutical companies, and also going to be some like I guess online reporters like me and Emily, the other researcher in my group. We were approached by someone representing like an online media company that's basically showcasing young researchers at these conferences, and so we just talk about our research. And that was going to be published online, and these are all things that you can put onto your CV, which is really nice. That you attended a conference, that you got publicity on your research. So these are all things that you can put onto your CV. I think my advice for those of you who are going to their first conference, or for those of you watching this just for information, is just to prep more than I did for the conference, just so you can like ask more intelligent questions. And so when people ask you questions about your research, you can provide like actually like useful information. Because I actually didn't realize like how many times people come up to me and ask me to explain my research and why we didn't do XYZ. At the student poster presentation I went to in undergrad, like I guess no one really went up to each other as much to ask questions, also because like we didn't really know each other's fields, and I guess we're just not at that level of like scientific inquiry and like advancement yet. I didn't expect as many questions as I did, so I definitely recommend you preparing and just reading up on recent literature. If it is a field that you want to pursue and go into, like definitely go and see who's attending, who's giving a talk, and it's a great way to go and network, because there's going to be people from all stages of their research there, like from like PIs who are like complete experts in the field. There were people coming up to my PI and asking her questions, and the whole lab that she actually worked for was also there. And so it's also a good way to like reconnect with some old peers and stuff that you did research with, and if you stay in the same field. And also just to not be people shy, because obviously like I'm more like socially like introverted and a shy person, but I want to put myself out there and just to be friendly to people, just so you can make those connections and those relationships. And I hope you all found this video informational for your first research conference, because there's like, it's something that everyone who goes into like medicine / science / I guess STEM like have to go into. Like I know like there's engineering conferences and everything, but like I didn't know what it was. It was like, what's a conference, you know? And so I hope you guys found this useful. As always, thank you for watching, and please leave any comments for any additional questions, video ideas, and give this video a thumbs up and a like. All that good YouTube stuff. I don't know. See you guys in the next video. Bye.